The most dangerous assumptions aren't the ones we doubt. They're the ones we never examine. There's one answer almost every believer gives without hesitation. An answer so familiar, so deeply rooted, that most of us have never stopped to ask whether we truly understand it. If you've never examined your answer, let's examine it together. Most of us never examine the things we're most certain of. We just build our lives on top of them and keep moving. But every once in a while, there's an answer so foundational that if it's wrong, everything built on top of it starts to shake. There's one answer almost every one of us would give without hesitation. Ask a room full of believers, do you love God? It feels like the safest, surest yes in our entire spiritual life. And yet, it may be one of the most important answers we ever examine. That answer may be sincere, but sincerity and truth aren't always the same thing. And here's the thing about blind spots. You don't know they're there until something forces you to look. In Matthew chapter 22 verse 36, an expert in the law asked Jesus, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." He was asked for one commandment. He gives two. And that tells us they're inseparable. The second is like the first, cut from the same cloth. You cannot pull them apart and still call what's left the greatest commandment. Most of us stop at verse 37. We build our whole spiritual identity around loving God with heart, soul, and mind, and quietly skip past verse 39 like it's a footnote. But Jesus treats it like the proof. This is the blind spot. We're confident about the first commandment and rarely examine the second, as if love for God can exist in a sealed room, untouched by how we treat the people around us. Paul saw this same blind spot in the church at Corinth, and he states it plainly. "If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing." Paul is describing someone who has it all: spiritually gifted, generous, sacrificial. He says that without love, all of it amounts to nothing. You can sing louder, serve harder, know your Bible better than the person next to you, and still be missing it if love isn't the engine underneath it all. Here's what the blind spot actually looks like. We measure our love for God by our devotion, our worship, our knowledge, things that happen between us and God alone. But Jesus keeps pointing us towards something harder to fake, harder to hide: how we treat people. Devotion to God can be private. Loving people is public. Tested in traffic, in family dinners, in the people who've hurt us. That's where the second commandment lives, and exactly why so many of us never really examined it. So if loving God isn't fully proven by the private, spiritual side of our lives, how do we actually know if we love Him? John gives us this answer directly. Whoever claims to love God, yet hates a brother or sister, is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister, whom they have seen, cannot love God, whom they have not seen. That word liar hits hard. John is saying the claim, I love God, and the reality, I hate my brother, cannot occupy the same life. One cancels out the other, not because God is keeping score, but because love for the God we cannot see is expressed and proven through love for the people we can see. That's the mirror test. Not how do I feel about God when I'm alone in worship, but how do I actually treat people in front of me? The mirror test doesn't ask about your intentions. It shows you your actions. Part of us wants to argue, but this person is exhausted. This person hurt me. This person doesn't deserve it. John cuts through that excuse. The test is whether you love them anyway, because that's the only way love for God becomes visible in how we treat real people. Jesus said something that lines up perfectly with this in John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Simple sentence, massive weight. He doesn't say, if you love me, feel really strongly about me. He says obedience is the proof. Love God. Love your neighbor. Love one another as I have loved you. Over and over, Jesus ties love for Him directly to how we treat others, not as a suggestion, but as the evidence. Feelings are real, but feelings can deceive us. We can feel deeply moved in a worship service, genuinely sensing God's presence, and still walk out of the door and be short with your spouse or cold toward the person who let you down. The feeling was real, but feeling isn't the fruit Jesus is looking for. Obedience is. This isn't meant to shame anyone. God isn't asking anyone to perform more. He's asking you to look in the mirror and let obedience, not emotion, tell you the truth about where your heart actually is. And here's the good news. If love for God is proven through love for others, it's not abstract anymore. It's something you can see, practice, and grow in. So ask yourself, is there someone I'm holding back love from right now? That's the mirror, just doing its job. Here's what makes this even tougher to face. It's not that hard to love people who are easy to love, the ones who are kind to us, who love us back. Loving them barely feels like a command. It feels natural. But Jesus doesn't let us stop there. In Matthew 25, He paints a picture of the final judgment and tells us exactly who He's looking for us to love. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Notice who Jesus lists. The hungry, the stranger, the one with nothing to wear, the sick, the imprisoned. These are the overlooked. the inconvenient. And Jesus said, "That's me. When you loved them, you loved me. When you ignored them, you ignored me." This is where the rubber meets the road. Real love is tested not in how we treat the people who love us back, but in how we treat the ones who don't. The difficult coworker, the relative who's never once said thank you, the stranger who has nothing to offer us in return. Jesus said, "I'm found in them too." It's one thing to say, "I love God," in the quiet of your car with worship music playing. It's another to carry that same love into every room you walk into traffic, the office, the family gathering, the checkout line, regardless of who's standing in front of you. That's the thread running through this whole message today. Jesus told us the second commandment is like the first. John told us you can't love the God you can't see while hating the brother you can see. Matthew 25 shows us that love isn't reserved for the people who deserve it or return it. It's a way of living towards everyone, all the time. So here's the invitation. And it's not a to-do list. It's not about finding one difficult person and fixing that relationship. It's about the posture of your whole life. Are you someone who loves this way consistently? Or only when it's easy? Only when it's convenient? Only when it's someone you already like? Love isn't proven in a single moment or in a single relationship. It's proven in the pattern, in who you are when no one's watching, and how you treat the people who can do nothing for you, and whether love is your default or your exception. We say we love God. I believe most of us mean it. But Jesus himself, and later John, point us to the same mirror. Love isn't fully proven in the sanctuary. It's proven in the 1,000 ordinary moments where we choose love regardless of who's in front of us. So don't just walk away with information. Walk away asking whether love is who you are, all the time, with everyone. And let that be where your love for God gets tested, and where, by His grace, it gets proven true.